Bueno, buenas noches a todos. Vamos a comenzar con esta rueda de prensa.
Good evening, everyone. Let's start with the press conference, first with the assessment from the Nikos thesis, and then questions.
Hello to everybody. I think it was a great basketball game. We did an excellent first half. We did exactly what our coach wanted us to do. We were very smart and physical. Obviously, Real Madrid didn't find also the rhythm. They missed some easy layups and some threes, but I think also we forced them not to have a good performance in the first half. Then in the second, we were expecting that the defending champion at home, they would ready to react, and that's what they did. Obviously, Sergio Rodriguez was the guy that he carried them all the second half. He made big plays. He was the engine of their team, and the game went in details. I think we could have won the game. Unfortunately, we were one play less to win. I'm proud of my teammates. Top 16 is a marathon, and we will try to make Europe respect us even more.
Preguntas para el jugador. Os pediría por favor que dijera vuestro nombre y medio de comunicación. Question for the player, please.
Do you leave with a feeling, in spite of the defeat, that you had a good match, in spite of you were like kind of a victims here, but you did a great match? So do you leave with that feeling?
Yes, for sure. When you play such a good game in the arena of the defending champion, but you fell so short, it's like you say, it's a bitter feeling. We had some lapses in the second half. We could have played better, but I think we really, all the guys that played, we tried to give our best self. But I think we're going to learn also from this second half. We have many great teams to play in this unbelievable top 16 group, and I think a smart team like us will try to keep improving.
Más preguntas para Nikos Zisis.
More questions for Nikos Zisis, please? That's it, thank you. So let's start the press conference for the coach. First, the assessment.
We lost with Sergio hitting a huge three-point shot against a 2'10" player on him. So I have to say bravo, Sergio. A loss is always a loss. A win is always a win. But my team played with the right spirit, with the right personality. We made some mistakes. We were punished by Nocioni, that will always make that shot from the corner, and from Sergio. But I believe that we came here like the Cinderella of the group. We have only three players with some experience of top 16. All others are rookies. But I believe we play good basketball as a team, as a serious team. We were short one possession, one defensive play, one offensive play. I don't know. I want to review the game. But the most important thing is that my players in the locker room were very pissed off. Instead of being happy to play like this against the defending champion in this arena with this roster of Real, I believe this is the best way for me to go back tomorrow to coach them. So I'm proud of my players.
Preguntas para el entrenador. Question for the coach, please. Os recuerdo decir vuestro nombre y medio de comunicación. Gracias.
Javier Rodríguez,
You were saying in the previous press conference that Madrid was like the predator and you were like the hunt. But for a number of minutes it seemed the opposite. Were you expecting that the Real Madrid was going to play so badly at the beginning as after the defeat with Barcelona?
Sometimes journalists forget that there is also an opponent. Sometimes you play bad because there is another team in front of you. And I believe that in the first half we did very good to force Real to have not their best night. Sometimes when you watch National Geographic, you see the zebra and the lion, One time the zebra escaped, then the camera went off and she died because no more blood. So we died because the lion bit us, we were able to escape, but we finished the blood after 2 hours. So this is the story.
¿Más preguntas para el entrenador?
More questions for the coach? That's it, okay, thank you. Good evening again. We start a press conference first with the assessment from Sergio Rodriguez and then questions for the player. So, hello, good evening. For us was a match that we knew is very important, starting winning at home against whomever, and they were playing quite well. We had a first half that was a bit there for the first few months. We didn't find the pace that we wanted, so I'm quite happy. We knew it was a tough team. They really work hard. They don't make a lot of mistakes. And in the first half, obviously, we were not with the energy that was needed to be ahead. And in the second half, we tried to be very intense. We rotate a lot of defense, and we were better in the rebounds. And we had some good shots that we didn't have in the first half. You still have a lot of problems to get into the matches. What you said, the first half was more or less, so it's kind of a problem for you, isn't it? Well, this is my 11th match. It was hard today against Barca and today, but I think the previous ones were quite well, especially first and third quarter. It's really just a moment. It's first we don't have Rudy and then Sergi. They're two reference for us, and the fact they're not there is of course a problem. We try to do it as bad as possible with a lot of information, a lot of stress, because we know what's on stake. It's been very tough for the whole season, but especially these last 4 weeks, and that stress, that tension is limiting maybe in these last couple of matches. But I think we're doing well. You were talking about the ones who didn't play, especially Jules, that gave you the highest responsibility today, and in the last few minutes you were just right there. And this year, unfortunately, we're having a lot of problems with the injuries. We had a wide group, and we solved it quite well. Players, the ones who stayed, the healthy ones, just stepped up. For us, they're really two important players, and to lose them right now in the competition is really delicate. But it's what we have, and we have to do our best, and we have a great team. So it's not a problem. All of us would have to train and handle this situation so we can win. Okay, Sergio, thanks a lot. And now we continue with Pablo Lasso's press conference, first assessment. Good evening. First, to congratulate the guys for the victory, for the winning. I think it was quite worked. I'm really happy about the work, about the way they did it. The match we knew was going to be very complex. They're the leader of the German league, and in the top 16, there's not an easy opponent. They proved that they're quite a good team offensively. They're tough. They don't allow you to get into your pace. And it was difficult for us in the first quarter to find shots. We had really poor percentages, and defensively they were getting right there, and it was bad for us. The second quarter, we solved all that. Sometimes we could almost break that, 6 above with a triple from Carroll. But that's what the Brose is. They handled, they were right there, and we decided the last few minutes. I'm really happy with everyone's work, because especially people who were allowed to rest in the second quarter were key so we can get it to the end. And that energy allows us that we were just 10 points down in the first half, because the advantage was just 10 points, but probably the game was better. Our offensive mistakes, and they were playing quite well, but we maintained focus, we maintained the effort, we were back in, and we won. Questions for Pablo?
Víctor Vera para 24 segundos en blanco. ¿Qué cree que debe mejorar
What do you think
para contar con
Billy should improve to play more?
Bueno, hombre,
Well,
pues podría mejorar muchas cosas, pero no solo.
we're talking about not only Billy and Doer, all players, each of the players can improve, so I think there are players, there are matches which are best for one, best for another. Bill is a young player, still growing. He's already given us important things. We know how important he is, as Endure is. And my trust with them is almost independently of whether they play 1, 2, or 30 minutes, as I have with all of them. Last match of the year with a winning. What's your assessment of 2015 and what do you want from 2016? I think 2015 was a great year for us. Needless to say, a season where the team competed quite well, always. Quite well. They were in the good and bad moments, very united, growing all the time, and providing a feeling that people can be proud of. They can be proud of this team. I think the last day, which is today, is to be happy with your team. It was a difficult match and we were able to overcome it. For 2016, as a coach, the first thing I always ask is not to have any injured players. Because really, that's what probably coaches cannot control. I would like to have all the players in their best physical level. But for whatever reason this season, and I hope that with the change of the year, we will have less injured players. Being such a difficult group and the calendar we're having with so many matches away, winnings home are even more important. In short groups like the EuroLeague, have 6 the first one, 8 now. It's something you cannot avoid to try and ensure matches at home. That's kind of obvious, but we're talking about the best teams in Europe. So Brose just proved that because they're in top 16. So we know that within that there are no chances that I can win this or lose that one. You have to do your best because in a moment when you least expect it, you may lose, and you can win any time that you're not expecting it either. I don't know if that beginning of the team was something that you could not foresee, but that you could imagine, because Jules was one of the first 5 always. So are you afraid of this being the rhythm until he recovers? Yeah, that's normal. Serge is a player who gives a lot to the team. He can play in different positions. And we've lost. Right now we don't have 2 of them. So we have to find different aspects of the game, which in 2 days you cannot find. I think Casey can provide some air, but we have to find it. It's not the same player. We have to find ourselves again as a team. And what I was saying 2016, I hope there are no injured players because that's what messes your plans up. But needless to say that we're thinking about a 5th players being the original ones, knowing that the 5th initial ones is not the most important thing for me, as I always say, and maybe we could not have just a direct change, but get Tom Kinsey, get Felipe out of the bench. So it's not so important, the initial 5, but usually it's a player that gives a lot of energy. As Rudy and all the injured ones, you miss them. Last question. First, Merry Christmas, and second, are you thinking the technical stuff to get Casey Rivers in the Liga once instead of being out of the community? Casey plays on Sunday with Vitoria and Trey is down. Obviously, we have, with the injuries from Sergi and Rudy, we're going to try to get Casey in dynamics. We're going to be right there, so we're going to get him in this match. We have many changes and we haven't done them, so, and we know that we have quite a demanding schedule, so we did this, we performed these changes for the Victoria's match, but I'm sure that probably we will have more in the future. Okay, thank you all. Happy New Year.